You're watching TelecomTV's exclusive video coverage of the NGMN industry event in Frankfurt. And joining me now is Todd Sizer, who is VP of Wireless Research at Bell Labs Alcatel-Lucent. Todd, thanks for joining us again on TelecomTV. As one of the industry's leading vendors, what is Alcatel-Lucent's role in defining 5G?
Well, Bell Labs is a research arm of Alcatel-Lucent, and so our responsibility to the company is to provide guidance and technologies that can help us in the future. So we've been working on 5G actually for the past 5 years, so we are fortunate to have that kind of a timeline. So my team is responsible for providing a lot of the guidance for the company in what we should be doing in 5G.
There are lots of different interpretations of what 5G could and should be, but what does Alcatel-Lucent think 5G will be?
To find out what it should look like, you need to ask the question, what is not working today that you want to have work better tomorrow, one. And two, you want to understand who it is that's going to be using this technology. So let's take the second item. So the people that will be using this in 2020 are folks that were born in 2000 who never grew up sharing a phone. They've never known a time in their life when information and connection to the people and friends and information they want isn't right there at the end of their fingertips. And so this is not something new like it is for me and exciting like it is for me. This is, okay, this is the way the world is. What can I do, and what are the sorts of things I'm going to want to do in the future with this expectation of always connected, always untethered, infinite capacity, or at least the perception of infinite capacity and infinite response? So it's for these young folk who will be using 5G that we need to focus upon.
What would you say are the biggest technical challenges that you face in developing 5G technology?
So I think what we're seeing with 5G is it's not really the next radio standard. Is it a new radio standard? Of course. But all connection is wireless. All connection is wireless. And so I believe with 5G, we're not really defining the next radio standard. We're defining the next communication standard. And what's important to the end user is not necessarily that their information gets across the radio well, and of course it has to, but it's more that they get access to the content that they are interested in, or the people or connections or machines that they're interested in. And so is there a radio component? Yes, but there's also a backhaul component and a network component, metro and core, and content delivery. And so one of the big challenges for us is to move in thinking and in practice from just focusing on the radio access network and really focusing on a solution that can adapt and meet expectations across the radio, through the backhaul, through the core, and through the content delivery. So how do you make that all work as one solution rather than just pieces that you stick together and hope work in practice later? You really want to architect it from the get-go as a single organism that understands what it means to have quality for that application and then adapts to meet it.
So how important will new technologies such as SDN and NFV be in 5G?
They're being used now in 4G, and really they're expected. They're the tools that we'll be using. But they're tools that will also allow us to be a lot more flexible in adapting not only to the applications that I can describe to you today, voice and video, but also for the applications that we expect tomorrow, and the ones that I can't describe to you because they haven't been invented yet. So how can we make a flexible network in the NFV, SDN world certainly, but also in the radio? How do we make the radio flexible so that it can at the same time provide high-speed video, which is of course an application that's essential, at the same time as we're providing sporadic machine communication? We believe that short packets, whether it's from little machines or in fact from your smartphones today with Keep Alive messages, they're short packets too. How can we handle them better? So it's adaptations in the network, it's adaptations in the radio that we need to provide in order to enable a very flexible network that can adapt to today's applications and future applications.
will we be seeing a shift in computing resources away from central silos and towards the network edge, closer to end users?
Well, I think it will. First of all, I agree. Moving toward the distributed cloud model is essential. Why? Because we can't break the laws of physics. And one of the challenges for 5G that we want to provide is very fast response. So people have talked about tactile internet, and whether you believe that or not, or car to car, there is going to be a need for the network to respond to mission-critical applications on a much faster time frame than the expectations we're having today. So how do you do that? That means you need to move the processing geographically closer to where the user is. And so this distributed cloud is absolutely essential if you're going to meet these very short latency applications, car-to-car, tactile internet, or others that people are going to create in the future. It's absolutely essential. With that, I do believe there is strong value that can come not only in meeting these new applications, the expectations of these new applications, but also in simplification and in reduction in cost and operating for service providers. I think it's a good model.
Do you believe that 5G will have one harmonious air interface that will cover everything from low-power M2M networks to high broadband applications, or will we have a family of different technologies?
So we believe that we will need a new interface. Why? Because we believe that current air interfaces can't enable some applications that we believe are important. The one I mentioned earlier, machine-to-machine, Internet of Things, short packets from today's traffic, we don't think those are handled as well as they could, particularly if you're concerned about the battery life of the user device. If that's important to you, and I think it is essential for us, if that's important to you, then we really need to do a better job at these short packet sort of communications. So we do believe that there's a new 5G air interface that needs to be designed for low band. There will need one eventually for millimeter wave as well, when millimeter wave is available in the mid-next decade. But we think there is one for 5G. Now that being said, 4G and 3G and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are not going away. And the mobile phone that I have today, compared to the mobile phone I had 10 years ago, has multiple radios in it. And so why am I not using multiple radios to talk in a multiple access, multiple pathway? We believe this is also part of what we need to do in 5G. And making those work seamlessly together. The end user doesn't care if it's Wi-Fi or LTE or 5G. They just really want to get access to their information. And so it's the job of companies like mine to make that happen. So will we see a replacement of old technologies? Well, maybe over time. The Wi-Fi air interface, certainly it's being designed to be able to do short packets, yes, but also broadband. But do we envision a world where that's the only solution? No, I think we need to understand that there will be different technologies, legacy technologies, that we need to integrate into the fold to provide one communication standard. Again, 5G, I believe, is about communications, not just a new radio.
Todd Sizer, thank you very much.